Today on NewsWatch, heat and flames. Close to 200 military troops have been called to fight the wildfires ripping through the West. See how residents are coping. Plus, the IRS is revealing new details about the cyber attack from earlier this year, why it's much worse than they anticipated. And one of the nation's top beauty doctors reveals the secret to staying young, and there's no surgery involved. Thanks so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Record-breaking heat and wildfires are plaguing much of the nation during these dog days of summer. Thermostats have soared in the Northeast, and exhausted firefighters are struggling to contain wildfires in the West. Gary Lane has more.
As wildfires continue to rage, military troops are being called up as reinforcements in the West. The first time that has happened in 10 years. 30,000 firefighters are now battling at least 90 wildfires. Overtaxed and nearing the breaking point, they're now asking for help from other countries.
We'll also be looking at other nations that we generally work with, like Australia and New Zealand.
Dozens of homes have been destroyed in Chelan, Washington. Mark Peters witnessed lightning strikes touch off a fire on a ridge near his home. He warned neighbors to evacuate.
Just glad to have our house. Our neighbor Ned here, he lost his place. Really sad.
More than 30 homes and buildings were burned. Evacuation orders were issued for 2,700 residents. The fast-moving blaze caught many residents by surprise. Carol Jenkins got out of her home in the nick of time.
I didn't take any family pictures or anything like that. I did not think anything was going to happen.
And homes and forests aren't the only wildfire casualties in the West. Washington State's lucrative farming and fruit industries are also suffering. The Chelan Fruit Company says it has lost $60 million because of the fires. It hopes to salvage the apple harvest. And 9,000 people in the area are just hoping to have their electricity restored.
Hopefully we'll get some power back up here soon and we'll be able to move back in and start rehabilitating the place.
And in the Northeast, the first big heat wave to hit New York City in the past 2 years is causing plenty of misery for people there. 3-digit temperatures and high humidity are causing them to find ways to cool off any way they can.
Just trying to cool off on this nice day, even though it's a little hot. He's enjoying the water.
Misery and hardship for many Americans, but a time of profit for vendors selling water, soft drinks, and water sporting equipment to tourists. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Bangkok's prime minister vows to track down whoever is behind a deadly explosion. This comes after a blast Monday at a popular shrine at a busy Bangkok intersection. A police spokesperson says a man was seen in security video wearing a yellow T-shirt and carrying a backpack. He is believed to have set off the bomb. The blast killed 20 people and injured at least 140. There was a second explosion today at a ferry pier in the capital, but no one was hurt. The IRS hacking scandal is far worse than the agency let on. The number of taxpayers who had their personal information stolen is now up to 334,000. That number is twice than what was originally disclosed in May. Agency officials believe thieves stole the information to claim false tax refunds in the future. The IRS is notifying victims and says it will offer credit protection for those victims. Florida's health agency is targeting 3 Planned Parenthood clinics for performing illegal abortions. The Agency for Healthcare Administration issued citations against clinics in St. Petersburg, Fort Myers, and Naples. It claims the clinics perform second trimester abortions, which are illegal. Clinic officials admit performing the abortions, but say the definition of second trimester abortions was changed without any notice. They claim the citations are part of a nationwide campaign against the nation's largest abortion provider. There is a petition. They're petitioning a judge now for an emergency ruling on this matter. 10 years ago, the Israeli government moved more than 9,000 Jewish Israelis from their homes in the Gaza Strip and 4 West Bank communities. This so-called disengagement was supposed to open the way for peace, but instead, it led to war with the terror group Hamas. John Jessup has the story.
Moshav Nativ Ha'asarah sits on the front lines of the Israeli-Hamas conflict. CBN's Scott Ross recently visited there and toured the community with resident Hila Fenlon.
You know, you're in a center of a village that looks, in first look, normal village, And when you look over there, for example, you can see there's a bomb shelter.
That's a bomb shelter?
That's a bomb shelter. And this room over here,
yes,
that is a bomb shelter. But in the last 14 years, when our kids are waiting for the school bus, they're waiting here on the doorstep of a bomb shelter, because if the alarm starts, they have less than 3 or 4 seconds to find shelter. So if you have less than
3 or 4 seconds?
Seconds, if we're lucky.
Nativ HaAsara is the closest Israeli community to the Gaza border.
Since the disengagement, it's put the whole village into the range of mortars. Now, mortars are official weapon made in Iran, made in Russia. We know it because we see the serial number and it says made in Iran.
Have many people been killed?
We had 3 people that lost their lives. But the real story of the mortars and the rockets is not how many people are being killed. It's what happens to you. They are not trying to kill us. They're trying to break our spirit.
In 2005, then Prime Minister Ariel Sharon unilaterally moved 21 Israeli communities from the Gaza Strip. 3 villages facing Nativ HaAsara soon became launch pads for sending rockets into Israel. Now they're Hamas outposts and training grounds. The Israeli government at the time argued that the one-sided withdrawal would reduce friction with the Palestinians and pave the way to peace. Instead, Hamas won legislative elections in 2006 and eventually seized control of Gaza. Since then, rockets have rained down on Israel, leading to war with Hamas.
You're a mother, you have children. Would you want to live somewhere away from this threat in safety?
First of all, of course I do, but you don't leave home for war. If I leave day one, and I don't have the privilege to lose this war.
And if rockets weren't bad enough, last summer's war revealed a frightening new scenario: tunnels.
Is this Gaza over here?
There's a road that goes all the way along over there. So this is the actual border between Israel and Gaza. This is Gaza City, this is Israel.
Where was the tunnel?
The tunnel was just over there, just behind us, closer to the houses. It was a mile long, half a mile into the Palestinian side and half a mile into the Israeli side.
A mile?
A mile long.
And you could drive through it?
A car can go through, yeah, with electricity, with ventilation. It's meant to serve a very, very big operation.
How do you know they're not building new tunnels?
We know the building, we don't know where.
Do you have much of a military presence here? Israeli soldiers?
Israel always said they use other means than actual presence. I do feel sometimes abandoned on the border, that's true.
What is that?
This is shooting. Someone is shooting at someone. Probably Hamas practicing somewhere, or I don't know. You see there's some military, I think maybe we might want to go away actually.
Really?
Yes.
At the border, there are 2 walls, one to stop sniper fire, the other to stop attackers from entering the community.
And this is where Hamas is practicing for the next war right now, as we speak. They are just behind this wall.
People pray all over the world for the peace of Israel, or the peace in this land would come, that people's wishes are here. Yeah.
So that's something I appreciate a lot, and I hope it will help as well.
That was our John Jessup and Scott Ross reporting. Graham Lotz's husband is in intensive care at a hospital in North Carolina after he was found unresponsive in their home swimming pool on Monday afternoon. It is not yet clear what caused Danny Lotz's pool accident, but a family friend confirms he has been battling diabetic seizures for the past few years. A statement on Ann's Facebook page says there are no answers yet as to the outcome, but the family is standing firm in faith, trusting Jesus. Danny is the son-in-law of evangelist Billy Graham. He and Ann have been married for nearly 50 years, and they have 3 children together. Up next here on CBN NewsWatch, forget the facelift. You can get younger-looking skin by curbing your sweet tooth. A dermatologist to the stars reveals the anti-aging tips when we come back. Well, you don't have to make a celebrity salary to look younger and be healthier. According to one of the nation's top beauty doctors, many inexpensive treatments can make a huge difference in how well you age without needless surgery. Lori Johnson has this story.
Beautiful, youthful skin. Red carpet celebrities get to show it off, and we can too. And we can forget the facelift. That's the title of the book written by a doctor who treats famous faces. I'm here on the Upper East Side of New York City at the office of Dr. Doris Day, dermatologist to the stars. And although money is no object for most of her patients, she says there are anti-aging tips for people on any budget. Topping the list, avoid the sun. Yes, you get vitamin D, but it's also the #1 cause of old-looking skin. So get your D from a bottle and cover up. Stay in the shade or wear sunscreen with UVB and UVA protection.
The great thing about sunscreen is that there's something for everyone. So if you have sensitive skin, oily skin, dry skin, if it's on your face or your body or your right ring finger, you know, there's a sunscreen for every part of your body, for every skin type.
Although sunscreens have improved, research shows people don't use them properly. Do you wear sunscreen?
No, I don't.
Usually, not always.
At the beach.
Only at the beach?
Pretty much only at the beach.
How often do you put it on?
Once.
I put it on once a day.
Now here's what you should do. You have to put on plenty of sunscreen or you'll only get half or less of the sun protection listed on the label. And it should be reapplied every 2 hours, more if you're swimming or sweating. Every time we go in the sun, we accumulate skin damage. Young people especially need to know that the number of rays they're soaking up now will be the number of wrinkles they'll be wearing in the future. Because sun damage doesn't wear off, instead it builds up over time. And tanning beds are just as bad.
1 million people go to tanning salons every day, and the majority of those are teenage girls. And it's just damaging for your skin. It's the worst thing you could do for your skin.
Right behind it, smoking, which breaks down collagen and elastin, making skin saggy and wrinkly. Alcohol and junk food also wreak havoc on your skin. Too much salt leads to puffy bags under the eyes. Processed foods, especially sweets, dull your skin's appearance.
Sugar is really unhealthy for your skin because it is something called pro-inflammatory. And when we talk about oxidation, inflammation, glycemic index, all of these are things that affect your metabolism, that affect skin cell turnover, and can be very aging.
But a good diet can turn back the clock. Load up on omega-3s found in things like salmon, flaxseed, and walnuts. Free radical-fighting antioxidants are in most fresh vegetables and fruits, especially berries, green tea, coffee, and dark chocolate. And drink lots of water, a pitcher a day, avoiding all other beverages, even fruit juice.
Fruit juice is sugar water. So I'm not a big juice person. I think as much as possible, have regular water, have the whole fruit. If you're going to have fruit juice, if you like that, or if you want to give fruit juice to your children, make it half water, half juice. And don't get them used to having things that are sweet.
Exfoliating creates a youthful glow by sloughing off the dry, dead cells on the skin's outer layer, revealing the fresher, younger cells beneath. But just do it once a week. Retinoids, often called retinol, are clinically proven wrinkle reducers. The topical vitamin A derivative is contained in many over-the-counter products. You can get a stronger prescription formula from your doctor. And studies show that people who exercise have firmer skin because working out infuses skin with oxygen and nutrients needed for collagen production. And it reduces the aging effects of stress. And finally, get your Z's. It's called beauty sleep for a reason.
You can actually have a home makeover without doing anything but actually getting 8 hours of sleep a night for a week, a whole week straight. And it really helps to have a routine, to go to bed at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every morning when possible.
So by getting rid of bad habits and adopting good ones, we can all look younger and be much healthier to boot. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Avoid the sun, avoid the sweets, and get plenty of sleep to look younger. Up next, catching a wave at surf camp. We're going to show you how a surfing instructor is spreading the gospel. The Beach Boys sang "Catch a Wave" and you'll be sitting on top of the world. Well, that was 52 years ago, and the sport is still as popular as ever. Our own Wendy Griffith recently caught the bug. She traveled to the white sandy beaches of Pensacola, Florida, to learn to ride the waves, and she discovered this is no ordinary surf camp.
Did you know that surfing's in the Bible? In the book of Acts, when Paul was shipwrecked, it said that they rowed to shore on planks.
Ben Martin discovered surfing as a young boy. His natural talent led him to compete, and at one point, he almost went pro, but didn't make the cut. With his dream gone, Ben dropped out of high school and fell into drugs and crime. One night, while high on Oxycontin and alcohol, he flipped his car several times on the interstate. That's when he heard God speak.
And he's saying, "You've been asking me to help you, and I am. But it's going to be hard, but I will see you through. And I want you to go back to the scene of the crime."
Ben did return to the accident scene, was arrested, and ended up spending 3 months in jail.
I was on so much Oxycontin that you die from coming off the withdrawals. I literally looked like a fish flopping on the floor. And he came into that jail cell, and you know, it was like the woman that was caught in adultery. He showed up at my worst moment. And he says, "I don't condemn you. Now go and sin no more." That power, that gift of no condemnation gave me the power to overcome. And I'm telling you, he changed me in that jail cell.
After that night, Ben never looked back and felt God urging him to use his talents to teach others the joy of surfing.
And he just gave me really a simple formula, almost the ABCs of surfing. And with that, and with his anointing and his grace, I've been able to teach just about anyone, you know, how to surf. And, you know, the best surfer is the one having the most fun.
These surfers have come from all over the country here to Pensacola, and although they love the great waves the Gulf Shore provides, what they really like about Inner Light Surf Camp is the spiritual components.
We didn't realize it was a Christian organization or company, and so when he prayed before we started.
Father, I pray that the jellyfish would disappear. In Jesus' name, amen.
We were like, "Are you kidding? This is awesome." Like, it was just, we want to live here now and surf with them.
Jesus and surfing do go together.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with all the jellyfish out there.
What is it like to surf as an adult?
Well, when you actually get up, it's just, I don't know, it's like when you're a kid and you're riding a bike for the first time. You know, you actually stand up and you're just, I don't know, the wind is blowing in your hair.
It's a great feeling.
It's a great feeling, yeah.
Ben has always helped us. He's always encouraged us to go to God. Instead, he uses the surfing to also help with understanding Christ. He baptized us back in May, and he's just kind of showed us the way along with our parents.
I just saw you catch a pretty cool wave. How did it feel?
It was really enjoyable because usually we don't get surf like this in Pensacola. They tie a lot in with the Bible, like the leash that you get to use for being attached to your board. It's like your lifeline.
What do you love about surf camp?
I love that I can still surf even at my age. And it is exciting and it's fun. And to be able to do it with my son is even more exciting.
If you thought you could never surf, that's what I thought. And guess what? I was wrong. Ben says adults have more fears about surfing than kids.
So we have to overcome all the fears of why they can't. You know, fear is something that the world taught us. So when you break through that, when you push through and see that, wow, you really can, it really does change. It's like, where did we learn we couldn't?
Ben also likes to ease fears about what's under the water.
And that's why I incorporate prayer. I mean, I believe in the power of prayer, and God has definitely kept me safe. You know, and, you know, we get sharks a lot in the water. We're putting our faith in action, you know, when we enter into the Gulf and depending on God to keep us safe. We're not on the sharks menu.
For Ben, surfing is not only a passion, but a way to reach people that may never enter a church with a love of Jesus.
I really do feel like I'm serving the Lord when I'm surfing, you know, because it is a talent that He gave me. And I feel like, you know, I'm glorifying Him with that, you know, it's opened doors for me to, you know, share the grace that he has shed upon me.
Wendy Griffith, CBN News, Pensacola, Florida.
And for more information on Interlight Surf Camps, you can log on to cbn.com. Stay with us. We're coming right back. It is now time for a message we hope will inspire you and motivate you to post, tag, tweet, and share with others. We call this your Tuesday Tweetable. And the message today is God is hungry for you and your time. Perhaps that's why you are in this moment of discomfort. Remember to seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added. Be sure God is your priority and you are seeking Him above all else. Make this a terrific Tuesday. Well, that's going to do it now for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear from you. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.